Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
美国今天是6月的第3个礼拜天，也是他们的父亲节，所以呢，今天在球场可以看到很多的爸爸带着家人或是小朋友一起来现场看球。要进行的是呢，纽约洋基队做客来到了休斯顿太空人队的主场，进行3连战的最后一场比赛。在前面2战当中，洋基是都拿下了胜利，是否可以在太空人队的主场拿下一个3连胜？今天就要看洋基的一个表现。另外，王建民也要担任今年球季呢第15场的一个先发。这场比赛的转播解说工作是由我陈建军以及球评袁定文共同为大家来服务。
对，这是洋基队啊，在休斯顿的最后一场比赛，也是他这次客场征战2个城市6场比赛的最后一场。我们记得这个客场的征战是从王建民的第1场先发来开始的，打败了奥克兰运动家队。那看看今天这最后一场比赛，又是王建民上场先发，能不能有好的结束，带了一个非常胜利的喜悦回到纽约。
对，我们看到洋基队昨天拿下了胜利之后呢，是超过53场的一个胜利。那最近的11场也拿下了8胜的一个战绩。对，
洋基队最近的状况是稍微是越来越好的这种迹象。不但是投手表现出色，而且bullpen最近的表现也是非常的好。像昨天，只要取得领先，先发投手下去，基本上bullpen他的救援投手都可以帮你能够拿下胜利。
对，那当然昨天除了牛棚表现不错之外，当然最重要就是呢，我们看到 Mike Mussina 先发6局是拿下今年球季的第10胜，让他追上了这一个 Cliff Lee。并列美联的胜投王，而昨天他的整个表现有点是开低走高的情况。
对，其实昨天那场比赛就是洋基队最近状况好的一个非常标准的一个征兆。怎么讲呢？因为第1局被打了3分打点全垒打，在以往洋基队或者是 Mike Mussina 的话，恐怕就追不回来。但昨天一点都没有好像 panic， 对一点没有害怕，从后面慢慢追赶，最后是获胜。
那今天的王建民要碰上的是 Roy Oswalt， 是呢太空人队的王牌投手。那今天的王建民可以说呢，在前一场客场作战面对运动家队拿下胜投之后，他今年的客场作战的战绩来到了4胜0败。休息片刻，再回到这一场比赛。客场的部分的自责分率2.38，跟主场5.96，哇，完全是相反过来的一个情况。所以今天在客场的作战呢，大家也期待王建民能够呢发挥跟过去一样的一个水准啊。前一场比赛他就是在客场打败了运动家，也终止呢之前的连续6场先发没有胜投的一个记录。
Left the middle third is Rodriguez, Giambi, and Posada. Cano's in second, Cabrera's in right field, and Chien-Ming Wang is the pitcher, and he will bat 9th. Starting for the Astros is Roy Oswalt. We'll give you his information in just a moment. Oswalt is ready. Damon is ready. And let's do it here in Houston on Father's Day. And the right-hander deals a strike. We're underway.
Yeah, Roy Oswalt is coming off a tremendous start against Milwaukee. He struck out 10 and didn't walk anybody. And Johnny Damon, third in the American League with a .324 batting average. A good matchup right from the start.
Damon 42 for 93 over his last 23 games.
And check out the numbers on Oswalt. They are not as good as they usually are. This is his 15th start. You can see he's under 500. His ERA is over 5, and more hits than any pitch. Second most hits allowed in the National League. Walks and strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .290. Two-time 20-game winner. As we look at our Jeep scouting report, 65 and 20 in this ballpark, but he's allowed 17 home runs.
And the count now 2-2 on Damon. Breaking ball by Oswalt. Get the best in HD free with IOTV, because everything about HD is better with IO, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball. 3-2 to Damon. Grounded to second. Mark Loretta. And there's one away. Let's take a look at the entire Astros defensive schematic. In the outfield, you've got Lee, Bourne, and Pence. Sounds like a law firm. That's from left to right. In the infield from third to first, Jeff Blum, Miguel Tejada, Mark Loretta, and Darren Erstad is playing first base. Only player to win a Gold Glove is an infielder and an outfielder. That's in the history of baseball. Brad Ausmus behind the plate. And Ausmus behind the plate with Oswalt on the mound is not unusual. He started 101 of Oswalt's last 102 starts. So they are comfortable together as Jeter fouls off the first pitch.
Yeah, Michael, I had mentioned that Oswalt has given up the second most hits in the National League, 104 to be exact. And it seemed he was getting away from the type of pitcher he had been. He's been going for movement, throwing a lot of two-seam fastballs.
There's a ground ball through for a base hit.
Well, he has returned to throwing the power four-seamer. That's where he got the 10 strikeouts against Milwaukee in his last start. You know, I think back to a few years ago before Oswalt even got to the big leagues. There's a breaking ball that Derek Jeter hammers into left field for a hit. Of course, you saw the graphic on Derek. He's sitting on 199 career home runs. A few years ago when Oswalt was in the minor leagues, a former teammate of mine who works in the Giant system, I asked him, who was the best pitcher you've seen in the minor leagues this year? And he said Roy Oswalt, and he'll be a good big league pitcher. And Ross Grimsley knew what he was talking about.
Now the base hit for Jeter is the 251st career hit that he's had in interleague play, more than any other player. So the National League does not throw him off. Well, I guess he's used to it. He appeared in 6 World Series.
Numerous All-Star games.
Yep. With Bobby Abreu getting the game off, Matsui moves up to the prestigious number 3 spot in the lineup. There's a strike from Oswalt. Count 1-1.
This is the second time this year that Matsui has batted in the 3rd spot. And he too has been one of the hot Yankee hitters, hitting 17 of his last 21 games.
You can listen to Yankees baseball in Spanish by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward.
Oswalt has a good sharp breaking ball to go along with the 2 different fastballs, the power four-seamer and the good sinker.
That one is drilled to center field, but Bourne is right there. 2 away. Hit it hard. Didn't get much lift on it, though.
And Darren Erstad talking with Derek Jeter at first base. Of course, Erstad, a long-time American leaguer, particularly with the Angels. Also spent some time with the White Sox, and well, he had some good years for the Angels out west.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Alex 15 for his last 31, really hitting the ball well. 322 average for the season. That one is crushed into left center field. Bourne there, and he makes the play. A-Rod hit that about as hard as you could hit it, but Bourne got there quickly and made the play. Alex took a pitch out over the plate and just laced it, but he could not believe that Bourne was there. Yankees don't score. Astros coming back.
Thanks for all the great memories and all the batting practices and helping make my dreams come true. I just wanted to tell you Happy Father's Day and I love you.
So Jason Giambi sending out special wishes to his dad, and as we said at the Open, Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Jason playing first base today. Chien-Ming Wang is taking his warm-ups. Let's take a look at the Astros starting lineup that he's going to face, and it's presented as always by our good friends at Rico. A little bit of a different lineup today. Pence is in right field. He'll lead off. Darren Erstad at first. Miguel Tejada, the shortstop, hits third. Carlos Lee cleaning up. He will play left field. Lance Berkman has a day off. Jeff Blum's at third. Mark Loretta in second. Michael Bourne in center field. Brad Ausmus behind the plate. Roy Oswalt pitches and bats ninth. And Hunter Pence, who's 1 for 8 in the first 2 games against the Yankees and has a propensity to jump on the first pitch, he digs in. How about that? He takes it. Strike 1.
Well, he broke an 0 for 15 last night with a base hit. He's 1 for his last 19. Here's the numbers on Wang. Got a victory in his last start, his first win since May the 2nd. Seemed to turn the corner as far as his sinking fastball was concerned.
Right back up the middle and through for a base hit.
Hunter Pence has speed, and now he's at first base. Split the difference between short and second to get a single and lead it off for the Astros. Remember, they are a very aggressive team. Wang's a pretty good fielder, but that had too much mustard on it, and he couldn't come up with it. Pence has 5 steals. He's been caught 5 times. Here's our Jeep scouting report, start to finish. It was Chien-Ming Wang who started this road trip with a victory. The Yankees are hoping he can finish it with a victory. No June swoon. I'll get to that after this pitch.
And the pitch to Erstad. Low, 1-0.
Last year in 6 starts in June in 2007, Wang went 4-0. This year in 2 starts in June, he is 1-0. So maybe having the same sort of June he had last year. The Yankees are hoping for that. And right-handed batters have not hit a home run against Wang since last September.
Well, the same problem that befell him in Oakland starts today with Hunter Pence leading off and getting on base. In fact, opponents are hitting .430, or their on-base percentage is .431, leading off an inning in his last 11 starts. That's just not good enough. And Chien-Ming Wang has to bear down.
Well, it did work out for him in Oakland because he got 4 ground ball double plays behind him, and that helped get him out of jams from time to time during the course of that game. He only gave up 1 run. You got the veteran Erstad at the plate, and Cecil Cooper, the manager of these Astros, would like to get Erstad some more action. He's been primarily coming off the bench. Now, Yankee fans remember him as a starter with the Angels and a very good hitter. But here, Erstad's 6 for 30 as a pinch hitter. But he's had a hit in 12 of his last 14 starts. So when you start him in a ball game, he seems to come through.
Missed outside. Last start, 7 1/3, 7 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts through just 83 pitches. But he was helped by double plays. He'd like to get one right here. Runner goes, fouled away. Today's closed captioning brought to you by your New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut Lexus dealers. Well, we've told you throughout the series the Astros lead the National League in stolen bases. Only the Tampa Bay Rays have stolen more bases in the major leagues. But now that tactic by the Astros is coming under some criticism. They've lost 13 of their last 16.
The feeling is they've run themselves out of some innings.
They've run themselves out, and also some stats were pulled out today in the paper which were kind of interesting. The top 6 National League teams in stolen bases, all 6 of them have losing records. Now, of the 6 teams that are atop the National League in home runs, 5 of 6 have winning records. And the thought process is the way you win in baseball now is to get home runs. It's hard to run and win games like that because you run yourself into outs.
Yeah, well, you know, how many people get thrown out hitting the ball out of the ballpark? That was Earl Weaver's theory. If you had guys who had high on base percentages, drew a lot of walks, and guys who could hit home runs, he would win a lot of games with good pitching and defense to go with it.
2-2. There could be their double play. There's one on to first. Double play. 5-4-3.
Well, different game, same story as far as Chien-Ming Wang is concerned. Cecil Cooper thought that Erstad was safe at first base. We'll get another look at it. But a hard hit ball to start with, and this is how you get double plays. A hard hit ball to one of your infielders and have a strong arm second baseman like Robinson Cano in the middle. Ball doesn't stay with him long. It's on its way to first, and it looks like Erstad was safe at first base on the relay.
Here's Tejada. Swung on a miss, 0-1. Cooper is at a loss, and he was actually quoted in the paper, which is never a thing for a manager to say, saying, I'm running out of answers. Manager always has to have answers, even if they're the right and not the right ones. You have to have answers.
You're supposed to say, I'll think of something.
Right. There's a ground ball through the left side for a base hit.
Well, the good news for Wang, he's hit the ball. He's gotten 3 ground balls, but 2 of them, or all 3 of them, have been hit pretty hard.
I remember when Bucky Dent was the manager of the Yankees, and he admittedly did not have a very good team. And they'd suffer these terrible losses, and after a couple of the games, right before he got fired, he'd run his hands through his hair and he'd go, I just don't know. I don't have any answers. And he was fired. And George Steinbrenner was asked why he fired Bucky Dent. He said, when a leader says he doesn't have answers, you've got to replace the leader. He said a leader has to have answers. You cannot have a guy say, I don't have answers.
You saw Cecil Cooper looking in the direction of Darryl Cousins, the first base umpire, and his feeling is you blew up this inning by calling Erstad out. You know, he had another hit followed, and he's thinking, man, I should at least have 2 guys on and 1 out.
And there's a strike.
Today, you know, we were kind of surprised at the lineup that Cooper made out. Now, putting Erstad in and Loretta, you know, they're 2 solid former Major League All-Stars, but he took Lance Berkman as probably his best player out of the game today, just to give him some rest.
The 0-1. Nice off-speed pitch.
It's not a bad situation when you can move Carlos Lee into the cleanup spot. Lee had the big hit for the Astros last night. There's Berkman sitting and watching this afternoon.
And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Through the slider. So Chien-Ming Wang, away from the sinker, goes to the slider. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 man left on base. We've played 1. There's no score in Houston. A major league scout, so he's involved in baseball. And there is something about Father's Day and baseball, because it seems like the guys that are out in the field, they got their start, their dad throwing to them in the backyard, taking them to games, things like that. So there's that connection. And Father's Day, of course, falls right in the middle of the baseball season. So you see a lot of father-sons, father-daughter combinations in the stands.
You know, these are very touching because, you know, what their dads did for them is becoming ball players. I know a lot of youngsters out there are having dreams of playing ball, or as far as the young ladies are concerned, you know, playing softball and sports, and your dad is going to help you. You know, I hope you mentioned to your fathers today how much you really appreciate what they've done, because there might come a time when your dads aren't around anymore and you won't be able to say it. You might be able to feel it, but you won't be able to say it.
And the 1-2. That is for sure. So tell him thank you. Tell him you love him, because there's 2 guys sitting in the booth that wish that we had the opportunity to do that right now.
That's very true.
It'll be Giambi, Posada, and Cano. Giambi with a 1-2 count. There's Dad and his sons. Made their way to Minute Maid Park. Giambi 5 for 16 on this road trip. The Yankees having a good road trip. 4-1. That's ripped to first. Off of Erstad. And it caroms out to Loretta. It's going to be, well, we'll see how they score. It could be a base hit because it was hit sharply, but that's a ball the first baseman has to catch.
Yeah, remember Erstad has had, you know, limited experience playing first base this year, and this is something you really don't want when you haven't been over there very often. Usually it's Lance Berkman, but this is a rocket. Gets up on him quickly. Might have got part of the leather, part of the knee. We'll get a better look at it here. But this ball is scalded by Giambi. Tries to get in position. He stays in front of it. I don't know if it hit much glove, or have they scored it?
They gave him a single.
Wow. Oh, okay.
There's a regular first baseman. That is a very generous to Jason Giambi official score. I think Roy Oswalt thought that was an out. Here's Posada, and there's a strike. Hey, Ersted's won a Gold Glove at first, but as Kenny mentioned, he hasn't played it a lot this year.
You know, my feeling about Erstad, and he was such a good player with the Angels. And even though he's not playing very much, he's hitting 300. I think if the Astros want to seriously think about winning some more, he's got to play more. I mean, he's a solid player.
He's one of those guys, Kenny, that has 2 onlys. He's the only player to win Gold Gloves in an infield and outfield position. And he's the only person to win a national championship in football and a World Series in baseball.
Yeah.
2 onlys. He was the punter for the 1994 Nebraska Cornhuskers.
And I guess you could throw in, I got another only for him. When you do it first, you're the only guy to do it first, right?
That's right.
All right. He's the first leadoff hitter in Major League history to drive in 100 runs. He did that with the Angels.
He is only the lonely. 2-2 inside, 3-2. Well, this is a pretty good double play combination speed-wise. Let's see if the Yankees take a chance and start Giambi. But I don't know if they start Giambi, they could still stay out of the double play. We'll see if they take that chance.
Remember, Oswalt is a strikeout pitcher. He can be, at least he was in his last start when he struck out 10. And they felt that was more like the former version of Roy Oswalt. They didn't start Giambi.
And there's another reason you don't start people against Oswalt. He has not allowed a stolen base essentially in about a half a season. 96 or now 97 and a third innings pitched without allowing a stolen base.
He's got a quick move and he's also quick to home plate, but he's gotten himself in a bit of a jam here by giving up a single and now a walk.
There's a strike. Pitch outside. Cano came up yesterday, pinch hit single, his first hit of the road trip, certainly what he needed. He told Kim Jones before the game, I needed to get 1 hit on this road trip.
He has never gone a road trip without a hit before. Last night he bounced a single into center field.
And the count 2-1.
You know, Michael, this is my first trip to Houston in many years, and of course when I came here the last time they had the Astrodome. This place is a great improvement over the Astrodome. They really did this place right. Beautiful ballpark. I'm sure the fans in Houston are very proud of it.
They really are, and they've built some nice facilities here. The Houston Texans, Reliant Stadium, the Toyota Center, where the Rockets and the Comets play.
That's just a few blocks from here, yeah. I mean, Houston has grown over the years. I believe now it's the 4th largest city in the United States. Yeah, it's. Was it New York, L.A., Chicago, and then Houston?
Fouled away.
But one thing remains the same. It's hot. It's humid down here, yeah.
I mean, it's so hot and humid. I mean, that's why they have the roof here. I've always wondered why close the roof just for heat, but they say that the heat is so oppressive that it affects the players, so they do close the roof just on hot days. It doesn't have to rain or anything like that. I think it's 95 or 96 degrees out, high humidity today.
Well, Cano is fighting off some pretty good fastballs. Roy Oswalt has shown him just about everything he has. Maybe he hasn't thrown a changeup as of yet, but I don't think he wants to try that because the count is 2-2. He doesn't want to go to 3-2 on one of his worst pitches or one down the list. I wouldn't say he has a worst pitch. He's a pretty good pitcher. When he's on, he can be as tough as anybody in the National League.
Oh, he pulled the string. Beautiful changeup, and Cano way out in front.
See, he would have gotten me too, because I'm thinking, he's not going to throw a changeup because he doesn't want to go to 3-2. But he threw a series of pitches to Robbie Cano, who was fighting all the way and ends up striking out. Starts him with a curve, drops it in for a strike. Tried to hit a slider on the outside, misses. Two-seamer misses. Another two-seamer fouled off. Fastball, four-seamer, fouled off. High fastball, fouled off, and there's a changeup curveball that got it. All that hard stuff and then the slow breaking ball. And Cano had a decent swing at it, just couldn't make contact.
His curveball is 70 miles an hour. So that is a change in speed for sure.
His fastball 93, 94.
Count 0-2.
Now he's breaking out the kitchen sink here to try and get out of this jam. 2 outs, nobody on. He has 1 strikeout. There's the same pitch he threw to Robinson Cano that struck him out. Melky had a decent swing, couldn't come up with it. Follows it with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. This guy's, and he works fast too.
.34 pitches so far for Oswalt.
And he knows that Melky Cabrera is the key guy in this inning after getting 2 men on, because he's got the pitcher up next who frankly hasn't hit very much in his career.
Struck him out. Climbed the ladder with the fastball. 2 outs.
Now he's been able to reach back for a little extra, and he gets Melky to chase a pitch out of the strike zone. Mixing up off-speed stuff and a high heater that puts Melky Cabrera away.
Here's Chien-Ming Wang. Big healthy cut. Count 0-1. Little bail to him. Bailing well. A lot of pitchers do that. Hitless in 8 at-bats in interleague play. Grounded foul.
Yeah, that's a victory in itself. Now let's see if he really goes nasty on a Michael and throws a hook. What do you think?
I'd throw a fastball by him. Let's see.
Well, he was definitely late on that one. It's got to be the high hard one. That's a hook.
Nasty on him. Wow. And he strikes out the side, wanted to take no chances, and Rasner and Jabba kind of grinned at Oswalt not giving Chien-Ming Wang a chance. Yankees strand 2. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. No score. And that was the day that the rhythmic clapping at Yankee Stadium began. When a pitcher gets 2 strikes, they started that with Guidry, I think, after he got 10 strikeouts that day. And it continues to this day, 30 years later. A pitcher on the Yankees gets 2 strikes, and the crowd starts to clap.
You know, I talked to Gator about that particular night, and he said warming up that he didn't really feel he had his good stuff, but then it started to kick in as the game went along, and the Angels had no chance. 18 punch outs. And you saw some of those hitters. I mean, Don Baylor, Joe Rudy, Bobby Grich. Yeah. I mean, some of the best hitters of the day. Brian Downing, another one. All those guys are solid right-handed hitters, and they had no chance.
Chien-Ming Wang's trying to get into that sort of groove, and he will face Jeff Blum to start off the 2nd. There's no score. Wang threw 13 pitches in the 1st inning. And the pitch low. 1-0. Wang started out now 3 of the first 5 hitters with first pitch strikes. And that's been a hallmark for the Yankees in this series. Jabba on Friday, 18 of 26 first pitch strikes. Messina 21 of 23 yesterday. And for the series, the Yankees are now 42 of 54 first pitch strikes.
Getting ahead of the hitters.
Blum is really the pinch hitter extraordinaire for the Astros. 6 hits and 15 pinch hit at bats, but he's getting a start at third base today.
Blum is a switch hitter by trade, but over the years he's been known as a better left-handed hitter. He can play first, he can play third, he can play second. A few years ago, when he was with the Chicago White Sox, they were playing the Astros in the World Series. And Blum, who had been with the Astros previously, hit a home run to win a game in extra innings.
And the 2-2 popped up. Alex Rodriguez puts it away. 1 down. Let's look at the American Airlines upcoming schedule for the Yankees. After this game, the Yankees fly home. Monday's an off day. Tuesday on My 9 at 7, Yankees against the Padres. Wednesday at 7 on Yes, and Thursday a matinee at 1 o'clock. And then the Reds come into town. A My 9 game on Friday night, and then Saturday and Sunday at 1, both of them on Yes.
Chance to see some National Leaguers come into Yankee Stadium, players that you'd not necessarily see every day. Or on a regular basis, for that matter.
Get to see Ken Griffey Jr. Next weekend. And there's a strike to Mark Loretta.
San Diego has some fine young players. They got Khalil Green, their shortstop, Kevin Kuzminoff. They've got some players who up and coming list. Jake Peavy, their starter. He's about as good as there is in baseball.
Popped up. Long run for Giambi and Posada. Posada with the call on the catch, 2 away.
I'm not sure if Greg Maddux is scheduled to pitch in any one of those games.
No, he's not.
But he'll be there.
Be Randy Wolf, Jake Peavy, and Josh Banks against Pettit, Rasner, and Java Chamberlain. Here's Michael Bourne. You have to watch out for him because he's got great speed. He has 17 infield hits. He also has 27 stolen bases. 17 infield hits, a lot in June.
You know, he's second in the league. Pence, his teammate, is #1. He's got 18. So they've got their own team battle going for leading the league in infield hits.
Count 1-1.
Yeah, we saw Bourne last night lay down a beautiful bunt and beat it out. We also saw him score from first on a double. This guy can absolutely run. Pick him up and lay him down. Got to work on that on-base percentage, though. You see it at 29%. That's the reason why he's not leading off.
And he also does not have the requisite skill that you need as a speedster. He doesn't bunt well. They've been working on him with bunting since the beginning of spring training. And on Friday night, he popped up an attempted sacrifice bunt in the 9th inning against Kyle Farnsworth. And he said it's a work in progress. The 3-1. Chopped to first. Giambi right there. Room service hop, and that'll do it. As the Astros go down in order, 1, 2, 3. We go to the third. There's no score here at Minute Maid Park. Well, we go to the third inning here at Minute Maid Park. Cute little scene there. Little girl checking out the game. No score. Johnny Damon leading off. And there's a strike. Each team with 2 hits. Neither team has been able to put across a run. You know that Johnny Damon this weekend switched to ash bats from maple. And the reason being, he's afraid that they are going to discontinue maple bats because they keep breaking and they become almost projectile weapons on the field. So he wants to get used to the ash bats. He actually broke 2 of them yesterday.
But he also had 3 hits.
Just got it.
Wow, those break too. Here's Jeff Blum, makes a good play. Throwing out the speedy Johnny Damon, throwing on the run, an accurate throw. Look at the stretch by Erstad, and they just got him. There's Darryl Cousins with the call. He's had some close plays at first. We'll take another look. Does Johnny Damon beat it out? No, wow. I think he was out.
Very close. We've had real close plays at first all series.
Yeah, you know, Johnny's probably thinking, when are we going to aluminum bats?
Here's Derek Jeter. It's amazing, though, Kenny. Some hitters could go months without breaking a bat. Is it the way they hit the ball?
It's hitting it on the sweet spot. I think we talked about this when Tony Gwynn went to the Hall of Fame. In 1 year, he used 1 bat the whole season. That's amazing. And it was a bat that it was a wide grain bat in the grains of the wood. There were 7 grains in it. I mentioned this before. He called it 7 grains of pain, and he just wore out. He hit 394 that year. And that was 1994 when the strike hit, and he didn't get a chance to hit 400. Man didn't use 1 bat all year.
Interleague hits. Jeter picked up 1 in the first, but this time he's out here in the third. Let's take a look at Tuesday's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Make the switch to Verizon Fios. TV, internet, phone. Randy Wolf will go for the Padres, 5-4, 3.83, and Andy Pettitte for the Yankees, 6-5, 4.64. Coverage begins at 7 on My 9. Speaking of Andy Pettitte, 36 years old today.
Yeah, happy birthday, Andy.
We were joking with him about his birthday, and he said, I just can't believe it. I want to kill myself. That one is driven into left center field. That is going to be a base hit, and it'll go to the wall. Matsui on with a double.
Matsui with a booming double to the gap in left center. This is going to be his 13th double of the year. Fastball up and out over the plate, and all season long, when you throw this pitch to Matsui, he's been drilling it. Doesn't miss it. Even with the speed of Michael Bourne, he's not going to catch up with this one.
'13th double for Matsui. And here's Alex Rodriguez.
Now, last night, when A-Rod came up with the opportunities to drive men in with the base open, the Astros walked him twice intentionally. Now, this is a situation they might not do that, but they might pitch to him very carefully. He's starting to warm up with the bat. 6 for 17 on this trip, including a home run in last night's game.
Now, how important is A-Rod to this Yankee team? Well, when he came off the DL on May 20th, since then the Yankees are 16-9. In the 17 games he missed with the injury, they were 6-11. And also during that time, they were facing a lot of left-handed starters. But here's the big difference, Kenny. In the 17 games he missed, they were averaging 3.5 runs per game. Since coming back, they're averaging 5.4 runs per game. So almost 2 full runs per game more. He balances the lineup more. The Yankees very lefty-laden. Breaking ball is inside, 3-0.
You can tell they're being careful with him. The first 2 fastballs are either on the inside corner or they're going to miss. off the plate, and they did. RBIs all time, tied with Joe D. 42nd place all time on the all-time list. Harry Heilman and Pop Stargell ahead of him, just ahead. Yeah, that was a pitch around. Sometimes you look over in the dugout, a catcher will look over there, and the manager or the pitching coach will give the circle sign, which means pitch around him.
Well, now they have to deal with Giambi. And when A-Rod's going well, I think that this has been a problem for him in the playoffs with the Yankees. When he's going well, he takes his walks. When he starts to press, he will expand his strike zone and swing at pitches that he shouldn't because he's trying to do too much, and he does that all the time in the playoffs. Pitches inside. The other teams know in the playoffs he's anxious. He wants to do well. He wants to prove that he can come up big in these big situations. So the pitch is off the plate. They want him to chase, and he does.
They shouldn't let it come to him.
Right. And if not, take your walks. Popped up down the left field line, giving Chase Blum. He can't get there.
You know, Michael, you mentioned how the Yankees have scored more runs per game with A-Rod in the lineup, and you know, while he was out, even when he's not hitting, pitchers have to be very careful with him. They have to work. They work hard to get him out, and it makes it that much easier for the other guys in the lineup because they've worked so hard. And there's no breath when Giambi comes to the plate. The pitchers might be a little exhausted from working hard, trying to throw a little harder to A-Rod. Then Giambi comes up, and he's the beneficiary, or Posada or Matsui, whoever follows him in the lineup. And even though he walked that time, Oswalt had to work hard to make sure those weren't strikes.
Look at how Giambi has improved since April. Threw that fastball right by him. 2-2.
94 and upstairs. And some movement on it as well.
Two on, 2 outs, 2-2. Foul back.
Well, the Astros feel that with the Oswalt pitching, that this is their best chance to probably win a game in this series, even coming into the series. His winning percentage here at Minute Maid Park is the best winning percentage for any pitcher in any major league ballpark. He's 65-20 in this ballpark in Houston.
2-2. Also, his ERA at home is about a run less per game than on the road. And this is a small ballpark. 2.68 here at home and 3.73 on the road.
You know, sometimes pitching in a park like it makes you concentrate a little bit more and making better pitches. And he's got good stuff to begin with. 765 winning percentage in this ballpark, the highest for any active pitcher at any ballpark.
A lot of people are just scratching their heads about Oswalt overall this year. 5-6 is his worst career record through 14 starts ever. But he's starting to turn it around, as Kenny mentioned before. He's going away from what he did well. Now he's getting back to what he does well. Now in his last start, he did not walk a batter against the Brewers. Struck out 10, did not walk a batter. He already has 2 walks right now, and after this pitch, he's 1 ball away from walking his 3rd batter. The runners will go 3-2 and 2 outs.
Let's see if he goes to the changeup like he did with Cano. That off-speed breaking ball. He's shown Giambi a number of fastballs, and you always got to be ready for that. Oh, went with the heat. That was 96.
So he can dial it up when he has to.
He was trying to put him away.
And it shows you Giambi's still quick because he fouled that ball back. Now his last start, 7 innings, as we mentioned, 5 hits, just 1 run, and 0 walks. With 10 strikeouts, he threw 99 pitches. He's thrown 59 already. This will be his 60th. We're in the 3rd inning. Runners go. Off speed, and he walked him.
You see, even going off speed, it was intentionally trying to fool Giambi and strike him out on an off-speed pitch. But even walking, it's just going to load the bases. Throwing hard, good hard fastballs all the way here. Just trying to blow him away. Another one inside. Another one that just missed, ran the count to 3-2, fouled 96 back, and finally threw him something different, a breaking ball, but walked it. But had a base open to do so.
So now it's Oswalt against Posada.
He thought that was a strike.
Big night for Jorge Posada tomorrow night. His foundation dinner in Manhattan. Most of the Yankees will be there. Raises money to help fight craniosynostosis.
All this trouble for Oswalt started with 2 outs.
And the 1-0. That's a protect me hack there by Posada. He was disgusted with himself.
I think the pitch was too high, and he tried to check his swing, and he made contact. We get another look. The target's for fastball up. He feels like maybe he was too far up.
One strike in the inside corner. Now Posada doesn't like that call by Marty Foster.
Well, let's see if he has reason. Well, another borderline pitch, but that's what you want to make. You want to make good pitches and get the calls. Oswalt got it.
Went off speed on 1-2, and Posada did not help him out, so the count 2-2.
So he's thrown a pitch 96, and he's thrown 167.
.31-mile-per-hour differentiation.
You might get some hitters falling down trying to hit that sort of a differential in speeds.
Just missed.
I'll tell you what, Marty Foster took the mask off, and you can see that pitch is just inside. And now here comes Cecil Cooper. And Cecil Cooper did not want Marty Foster trying to intimidate his pitcher. And Marty Foster is telling Cooper, just get back in the dugout here. You're not allowed to argue balls and strikes. Foster did not like the reaction of Oswalt after that last pitch and took his mask off. That's an indication right away that the umpire is not happy with what he's seen on the mound. And Cooper just coming out trying to protect his pitcher.
That's a walk, so he walks in a batter, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead. Posada would not help him out, would not offer the off-speed pitch low, and he forces in a run.
You know, you talked about A-Rod being out of the lineup. You got to throw Posada in there as well. Jorge out on the disabled list. He makes pitchers work. The that very rarely chases close pitches. And there's a breaking ball low for ball 4, and the Yankees have a run. Just a wear-em-out type of offense.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. So 3 straight walks in a row, and Kenny, there's the danger in this lineup of pitching around Alex Rodriguez, because you've still got to get out Giambi, you've still got to get out Posada, and Oswalt was not able to do that. 4 walks for Oswalt ties his season high. Did it against Milwaukee on May 2nd, and we're only 2 outs into the 3rd inning. And Cano shatters his bat, pops it up down the left field line. It is a fair ball. 1 run scores. Here comes Giambi. He'll score. It's a seeing eye 2-run single for Robinson Cano, and the Yankees lead 3-0.
Well, I was going to say that with Cano coming to the plate, here's a guy he probably won't be able to walk, but he's capable of getting hits. He shatters his bat. Makes a good pitch on him, but still the ball falls in fair by less than a foot. You can see Blum racing down the line. It's a fair ball called by Eric Cooper, the third base umpire, and it's a single, a 2-run single for Robinson Cano. And all of this started with 2 outs and nobody on.
So Cano RBIs 22 and 23, and the Yankees now have a 3-0 lead. Here is Melky Cabrera. Upstairs, along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. And you are watching Yankees baseball right here on Yes. We thank you for joining us on this Father's Day. Yankees lead 3-0, top of the 3rd. There's a strike. Oswalt's next pitch will be his 70th. Cabrera, the 8th batter to come to the plate in this inning. Count 1-2. Oswalt has thrown 32 pitches this inning. So of his 70, 32 in this inning. That one's foul back.
I know Melky struck out his first time up, but last night Melky had himself a night. He reached base 5 times. And today makes his first start in right field.
And the pitch, strike 3. Cabrera down looking, but the Yankees score 3 runs on 2 hits, 3 walks, no errors, and 2 men left on base. The big blow, a broken bat, pop-up, seeing eye lands just fair, and at the end of all of it, it's 3-0
Yankees. I love you, and again, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks, Dad.
Well, you could really feel the sincerity coming out of these players. It's very important to them. This is a very special day for them, and as we mentioned, there's that connection between baseball and dad. So Andy Pettit sending out to his dad Tom Father's Day wishes.
Yep, I can remember my dad taking me into my first game, and like it was yesterday. It was a long time ago, but it meant a lot.
Brad Ausmus takes a pitch low, 1-0. So Chien-Ming Wang has a 3-0 lead.
See Ausmus' overall batting average at .235, but there's an interesting breakdown to his batting average. He hits well against lefties, over 300, 310, but only 205 against right-handed pitching.
He's actually hitting well in June, 11 for 30, 367. But it does show you the value that teams put on a defensive presence behind the plate. Ausmus has a lifetime average of right around 250, but he makes his living calling games, blocking balls in the dirt, framing pitches. He's an outstanding defensive catcher.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned this last night, but no catcher has caught more games in Astros history than Ausmus.
And the way things usually play out with catchers, he's either going to be a manager or a broadcaster when it's done.
He can actually do both. I mean, Joe Girardi's done both.
Absolutely. Joe Torre's done both.
How about Flash?
Hopefully we'll get rid of him and he could be a manager.
What's that?
Hopefully we can get rid of Flash and he could be a manager one day. Bob Brenly. I think Flash likes it up here. He's not going to go be a manager anytime soon.
He likes you too much, Mike.
That's it. Well, you can always make me the bench coach. That one is lined right to Cano. One away. Here's Roy Oswalt. He's a 138 hitter for a pitcher.
Oswalt is from a small town in Mississippi. Where, Mississippi? It's spelled W-E-I-R, but there's only 535 people in the town. So you can imagine riding through Mississippi. Where's where?
And only 538 people know. Now, do you know if he still lives there?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Where?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foul bat. That must be. I mean, what culture shock? I mean, he's a big league ball player, and Houston, as you mentioned, is the 4th largest city in this country. And he's traveling to L.A. and New York and Chicago, and then when it's all over, back to where?
You know what he said? He said, no, anywhere other than where is like the big city.
He's right.
Yeah.
Mayberry would be a teeming metropolis compared to where.
And he said growing up, he's well, he's always been a big Green Bay Packer fan because Brett Favre is not far from where. Grew up not far from where.
Chopped over the middle. Grabbed there by Cano. Off balance throw. Oswalt with an infield single. He knows where to hit it.
Well, that 138 batting average is going to climb as Cano. This is a difficult play. We saw Robbie make one the other day, very similar to this one, but the throw is offline, and Oswalt runs pretty well. He would have beaten that out. So an infield single for Roy Oswalt, and he's on with one out. Good try though by Cano. He's made some outstanding defensive plays in this series.
So he's on first. And here's Pence. Swing and a miss. Keeping it away from Pence, using that slider.
You know, I think in this series, we've seen Pence lead off all 3 games. I wouldn't think that he has seen more than a dozen pitches. He is up there hacking. He is the anti-Johnny Damon.
Swing and a miss. Got a good slider today.
As Michael said, good slider, and this is what Chien-Ming Wang worked on in spring training. And he strikes out Hunter Penn, second strikeout of the afternoon. Well, that's a good one. Looked like a fastball, and then it's not.
That'll bring up Darren Erstad.
You know, we talked a lot about first pitch strikes, Messina and Jabba Chamberlain in particular, throwing quite a few. For Wang, I don't think that's quite as important, and I'll tell you the reason why. And after ball one to Erstad, and because he throws a power sinker, hitters get more aggressive when they get ahead on counts, and then when he feeds them the sinker, they think they have the fastball lined up, and then they top it, and he gets the ground ball that he wants. So I don't think it's as beneficial to Wang as it is the other pitchers in the rotation to throw a first pitch strike. You know, right now Erstad's up there 2-0. He's aggressive. Takes pitch for a strike, but he's thinking fastball. He got it, but when it's a good sinker, you have it lined up and you just pound it into the dirt. That's what Wang wants you to do.
77% first pitch strikes this series for Yankee starters.
That's almost 8 out of 10.
Right in on the hands. That's going to dunk in for a base hit. Oswalt will go to third. Cano flips the ball into Jeter at second. It's a boot single for Erstad, and the Astros have runners on the corners with 2 outs for Miguel Tejada.
Broken bat, but a little blooper. This is the Astros version of the hit that Robinson Cano got. Although Cano certainly did more damage with 2 runs scoring, but you can see ball drops in just fair. And for years, they have never had a man stationed there defensively.
Here's Tejada. He is 0 for his last 17 with runners in scoring position. The Astros in this series 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. There's a strike from Wang.
Tejada's been a very good hitter against Wang in his matchups with him. When Tejada's with the Orioles, he's 1 for 1 today, and he's 10 for 24, 417 against Wang. So this is the guy that's given Wang problems the last few years when they've met up.
Tejada with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year, hitting .346. That's the situation he's in right now. Oswalt's at third. Darren Erstad is at first. 2 men out. Yankees lead 3-0, bottom of the third. And the pitch. There's that slider by Wang, and he's taking something off it as well. It's not the real hard slider that he sometimes throws. It's got some bite to it, and it's a change of speed as well. That was 82 miles an hour. Keeping Erstad close.
Yeah, Wang had an easy second inning, and got the double play in the first inning that helped him out of a jam. But this is the first real threat for the Astros in the game.
A real battle between Wang and Tejada.
Yeah, he kept that previous pitch outside, then ran that hard sinker in on his hands. Wang's in the driver's seat here with a count of 1-2. Tejada's very proficient at hitting a ball to the opposite field. Leads the National League in opposite field hits. He can inside out it when he has 2 strikes.
And the pitch. Chased the pitch outside. That was a slider.
That was a good one. Here's another look as he just spoiled the pitch that was actually out off the plate in the ball. As Tejada steps out here, you know, he is the all-time leader in home runs in the Dominican Winter League. When he was playing for the Orioles, they didn't want him to play, but he did, and he tied the record. So then he said, well, I got to continue to play, so I got to break the record.
Each team with 4 hits. Tejada battling Wang. And the pitch. Grounded. Grabbed there by A-Rod. Gets to his feet. Fires. Got him. Oh, what a play by Alex Rodriguez. Saving at least a run and an extra base hit off the bat of Tejada, who was crumpled at first base in disbelief. A great play by Alex Rodriguez. This was ticketed for the corner, but A-Rod made the grab. Scrambled to his feet, fired to first, and Tejada in desperation tries to make it, and he doesn't.
The way he hits the ball, the way he runs the bases, but he's the whole package. I mean, this is a great play. It comes in a big time for the Yankees, squelches a rally, and robs Tejada of what he thought was a sure, maybe extra base hit. And he's just, I can't believe it. Highway robbery in Houston.
On that last replay, you could see Posada pumping his arm in exultation. So the whole team knew what a great play that was. And there's a strike to Chien-Ming Wang. 3-0 Yankees. It'll be Wang, Damon, and Jeter against Oswalt. Sky to right field and deep, giving chase is Pence into the corner. And he runs out of room. It's time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz, and it involves Roy Oswalt. Since 01, Roy Oswalt has 117 wins. That's the most in Major League Baseball over that time. Which pitcher has the second most during that span? Swing and a miss. He's not giving Chien-Ming Wang any break. Well, he's giving him a breaking ball.
Yeah, that's twice. He's thrown him a hook and struck him out. But in each one of these at-bats, Wang has made contact on at least one pitch. But unfortunately for him, it's not the 3rd strike. 5 strikeouts now for Roy Oswalt. And Wang can say that it's really not his job. His job is to get people out.
Here's Johnny Damon. I'll tell you what, though, Kenny, in this league, if you can hit a little, you can really help yourself.
If you're a pitcher, you can hit, certainly bunt. You know, move the runners across to help your own cause.
Served into left field, a base hit for Johnny Damon. Let's check out what's going on around baseball. Let's get a scoreboard update with Bob Lorenz in our studios. Bob? Well, they squeaked one out in extra innings yesterday, and they're leading 9-0 today. Right here, the Yankees are leading 3-0 top of the 4th inning. Johnny Damon is on first, a threat to run. But as we told you, Oswalt does not give up stolen bases. 99 and 2/3 innings without allowing a stolen base. Off-speed pitch is fouled back by Jeter.
You know, Michael, with the break here as Jeter steps out, if the Yankees win this game and it continues the way it's going right now, I would think this is the best 3-game series that they've played all year. I mean, the offense has been there. The defense has been spectacular. We just saw a great play by A-Rod, and the starting pitching has been very good, and the bullpen was solid in the first 2 games. So I think overall everything's worked correctly, or just the way the Yankees would have mapped it out coming in here, as they've won 2 out of 3 in Oakland, had some momentum, but they stepped it up even another notch in this series.
And that's been the problem with this team over the first couple of months. One thing would be working, another thing wouldn't be. They'd get hitting, they wouldn't get pitching. They'd get pitching, they wouldn't get hitting. And in this road trip, other than the Rasner subpar outing, they've gotten everything they wanted in each game. Job of Chamberlain developing as a starter. His next time out, which will be Thursday against the Padres, no pitch limit whatsoever. Runner goes. Throw to second. Still no stolen bases against Oswalt. Good throw by Ausmus.
Yeah, good throw, and I don't know if Johnny Damon got the best jump. Let's see what Oswalt does here. He doesn't have much of a leg kick. And there's a tag by Tejada on the other end. The throw is right on the bag by Ausmus. Good transfer. You know, maybe not the strongest throw, but it's accurate. And the tag is definitely there in time. Tejada has the ball. There's the tag on the left leg, and Johnny Damon has been thrown out for the 5th time.
Chopper to first by Jeter. Erstad steps on the bag, and that'll do it. No runs ahead, no errors, and because of the caught stealing, nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 Yanks.
They catch and took me to the games when I was a little kid to watch you play, and you know, thanks for everything.
Heartfelt message from Robinson Cano to his dad. Dad actually played here with the Astros. There's a breaking ball strike to Carlos Lee. Bottom of the 4th inning is Lee, Blum, and Loretta. Foul back.
Yeah, we had talked about Wang making adjustments on his throw day prior to his last start in Oakland. And what he had worked on with Dave Island, the pitching coach, is getting the ball out of his glove quicker. That makes him come over the top more and get the ball to sink better. It hadn't been working. It took a while to get back in the groove, but it seems that there's that little sinker right there at 93 miles an hour, moving down and in to the right-handed hitters. And it seems as though Wang has gotten himself back in a groove. There hasn't been a fly ball out to an outfielder in this game. And that's when Wang is really working well.
.55 pitches for Wang. 39 strikes. Carlos Lee struck out in the 1st inning, and a 1-2 count on him here in the 4th. Missed inside. Chien-Ming Wang likes to pitch on the road. 13-2 in his last 19 starts on the road, dating back to May 16th of last year. He has a 4.01 ERA in those starts, so getting run support as well as Lee strikes out on the slider.
Yeah, there's the pitch, you know, following that sinker in on the hands, like the fork in the road for a right-handed hitter. You know, when you see that the sinker, it comes this way, and then you think it's sinker, but it's really a slider, and it goes that way, and that's how he picks up the strikeouts. This is the pitch we mentioned before, how he developed it during the course of spring training. And what did Yogi say? When you get to the fork in the road,
take it.
Take it. He should have taken that pitch. It was outside for a ball.
Here's Jeff Blum. Tries to hold up. He cannot. The count 0-1. Wang's dealing. He has a good fastball, slider, mixes in a change every now and then. That last one was a change. And there's a ground ball to second. Cano to Giambi, 2 away. Hey, it's time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz answer. Roy Oswalt has the most wins in the big league since 2001. That's when he began. Which pitcher has the second most during that span? And the answer is...
Would you say Andy?
That'd be a good guess. It would be his teammate, Mike Messina, 113 wins, 10 of them this year. Number 10 last night. 17 straight years of double-digit victories for Mike Messina. That's an American League record. Pitch outside, 1-0. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. We thank you for joining us here on the Yes Network. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning on this Sunday, Father's Day, and the Yankees lead the Astros 3-0. There's that slider, drops it over the outside corner for a strike. Line to left field. Matsui is right there, and he'll put it away to finish a 1-2-3 inning for Chien-Ming Wang. We go to the 5th here at Minute Maid Park. It's 3-0 Yankees on Yes. Bob, here in the top of the 5th inning, Hideki Matsui takes a first pitch strike from Roy Oswalt. The Corona Extra scoreboard has the Yankees leading the Astros 3-0.
You think about it, what Bob just mentioned.
Line drive right at Loretta, 1 away.
It's hard to hit a home run out of one ballpark into another one.
And that one's really close. I defy anyone to hit it out of this ballpark today. You have to go through the glass. Although I don't know if that would be such a hard shot. I mean, it would be a long shot, but it certainly wouldn't be impossible if the roof was open.
Didn't Albert Pujols hit one off of Brad Lidge?
That was here.
Yeah, it was here.
Yeah, that was the one where they had a shot of Andy Pettitte in the dugout going, "Oh my gosh." That was the year the Astros went to the World Series. 2005 NLCS.
I think that was on a getaway night, and when the Cardinals were flying back to St. Louis, they said they passed that ball in the air.
Well, that kept the series alive too, because the Astros are up 3-1, and they were going to celebrate here, going to the World Series, the first National League pennant, but didn't happen. Chopper to second. Loretta Erstad, 2 away. So A-Rod's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. And that's going to bring up Jason Giambi. Giambi with a single off the glove of Erstad in the second, and then he walked and scored in the third.
It was at after Matsui doubled with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Pitched around A-Rod, 4 pitches, and he walked. Then he didn't want to walk Giambi and did so.
Rip foul.
And then he walked Posada to force in a run. Then the broken bat single. And it all started pitching around Alex Rodriguez. Well, actually, Matsui's double started.
And the count 1-2. Pulled the string, and Giambi 2 out in front. Strange down the left field line, the stands jut out. There's no curvature, but down the right field lines, it kind of curves. Wonder what the thinking was behind that. You see that angle there, and there's no angle here. Foul bat.
You know, sometimes teams throw out feelers as to you know, trades, and there had been a few rumors about Oswalt being dealt, and if they ever thought about it, I think there'd be 29 other teams that might want to jump on that if they could, if they had the goods to satisfy what the Astros wanted.
Well, there was that rumor that he was going to the Mets a couple of years ago, and it was a three-way deal with the Orioles, and the Orioles pulled the plug at the last moment.
Yeah. And I think it's because the Orioles didn't want to pay what it would take to have Oswalt in their rotation.
I don't think it was that. I think Oswalt was going to the Mets.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Well, there was also rumors that he was going to the Orioles at one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Might not have been a bad move as he retires the Yankees in order. We're halfway through. 3-0 Yanks.
Thank you for all those times in the yard and traveling on the van to baseball games, and all the time that you spent with me and letting me get my pants a little dirty and getting those grass stains. So once again, Dad, I love you and happy Father's Day.
And Jabba, this Father's Day means a little bit more to him than others because almost lost his dad, who was in some pretty serious condition, but pulled through and was at the stadium during the last homestand. Got to see his son's first big league start. And on his wristband, he has Dad written on it. I'd asked Harlan what it was like sitting in the stands watching his son start that game. And, you know, it was hot that day, too. And he goes, that's my boy. He said, I could take anything for my boy. He said, there's no better feeling. On the Corona Extra scoreboard, it's 3-0 Yankees.
I think back when he first got to see Jabba pitch in Kansas City. You could see the emotion just on his face when Jabba got out of the gym. Remember when Johnny Damon made that catch?
There's a strike. Harlan Chamberlain, single parent, raised both Jabba and his sister. And they talk every day. The 2-1. Right back up the middle, a base hit by Michael Bourne. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by LoJack, the most successful theft recovery system on earth. And by Firestone, a tradition of innovation. And by Dodge, you talk, we listen. It's a new day. Dodge, grab life. There's that 2005 NLCS champion team that went to the World Series. And here's Brad Ausmus, born as a threat to run, 27 stolen bases.
That's second in the National League to Willie Taveras of Colorado.
Willie Taveras used to be here.
Yeah. You go back a little further, he used to be in Cleveland. You know, Bourne actually had the league lead in steals until last night. Taveras stole 5 bases in a game. He was running wild.
And the 0-1. Might be too slow to turn 2. There's one. It's not too slow to turn 2. 6-4-3. Second double play for Chien-Ming Wang.
You know, the reason why they turned two is because Cano was solid in the middle once again. As Michael said, his ball not hit very hard. And watch the pressure that Bourne's going to put on Cano. He's right there to try and upset him. But Cano with the strong arm gets it going towards first base. There's the good throw from Jeter about chest high, and then the relay. And Chien-Ming Wang has his second ground ball double play in this game. Good throw from Jeter, the feed. And then Cano with the strong arm. And that was mostly arm because Bourne was all over him like a cheap suit.
Here's Roy Oswalt. And there's a strike. Singled his first time up behind second base. Wang about to throw his 70th pitch here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That one is looped into center field. Another base hit for Roy Oswalt.
Well, you might be thinking it's a 2-out single, but he makes Wang work that much harder to get out of this inning. Kind of flailed at it, hit it off the end of the bat. You know, if he hit it well, it might have carried all the way to Johnny Damon. Instead, it's a bloop single into center field. Johnny wasn't playing very deep as it was. Let's watch the swing here. Watch his eyes.
Sometimes it works. That one's driven deep to right field. Cabrera back, and he'll make the play to retire Pence for the final out of the 5th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. 5 in the books here in Houston. It's 3-0 New York Yankees. Of Major League Baseball, Yankees 3-5-0. The Astros have 6 hits, no runs. Cano's 1 for 2. Broken bat 2-run single. He has 23 ribbies this season. Giambi 1 for 2, a single, a walk, a run scored. Now a .341 average in June, and those are the starters. Wang, 5 innings, 6 hits, and 3 strikeouts. Oswalt, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. The big 4 walks, that's what's really hurt him. So we go to the 6th inning as the Yankees are leading 3-0. Posada will lead it off against Oswalt on a Father's Day here in Houston. First pitch is a strike. And the next pitch by Oswalt will be his 100th of the game.
Now the 4 walks certainly haven't helped him in the game keep his pitch count down, but unfortunately for him, 3 of those walks came in 1 inning.
Grounded inside third and hits up against the stands. Kicks out toward left field. Posada thinks about 2, but then thinks better of it as Lee gets the ball in quickly.
That's a little feel of Fenway Park down the third baseline here. This ball's going to kick out, and Carlos Lee got over there quickly. Just knowing your home ballpark. Posada scrambling with 2 strikes, comes up with a leadoff single, but watch the ball jump out, and Lee is right there. He knows exactly what's going to happen. Gets the ball back in quickly, and Posada is held to a single. Jorge's been on base 3 times.
Here's Robinson Cano. He's 1 for 2. And another shot inside, and again it kicks off the left field stands, and again Lee plays it beautifully, and Cano is held to a single. So inside third, right down the line, but it didn't get into the corner.
I looked at the screen, I thought it was another replay. But here's Cano following the lead of Jorge Posada, going to the opposite field down the third base line. That sign's taking a beating down there. But Lee comes up, and Posada has to stop at second. One of those unusual angles that you'll see at ballparks from time to time. There you go. Well, Ausmus out to talk to Oswalt, and it's giving the bullpen time to warm up.
And we've seen Wesley Wright in the first 2 games of this series. And they're getting him ready for Johnny Damon. And a strike. Lofted to shallow left. Carlos Lee right there, and there's one away.
Now here's a situation where you probably expect Wang to bunt. And of course, National League pitchers more proficient at this, but he's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, 2 swinging strikeouts on breaking ball. Here's a situation where he can help himself. The Astros are expecting the bunt. The Yankees will give up an out to get 2 runners into scoring position for Johnny Damon. And also stay away from the double play. See, not good form as he kind of punches at the ball. You're supposed to hold the barrel of the bat out there and kind of catch the ball on the barrel of the bat, and that will deaden it. But you can see he tried to punch at it. See, he's already squared around. And this is where I think that the National League has a major advantage.
Right back to Oswalt, and we get the force at third. Back to first. Not in time.
Not only with the third baseman and first baseman charging, but Posada's not the fastest of runners, so it was going to have to be a really good bunt, and it wasn't. It was too hard. Right back to Oswalt, who knows exactly what to do. There's the force at third, and they almost turned 2 out of this. The Yankees had him bunt anyway to try and stay out of the double play, and it almost was a double play at that. Blum's throw across the diamond, not quite in time. Wang hustled down the line.
Count 1-0. Now 2-0 on Damon.
Damon got a hit his last time up and is now hitting 21 of his last 24 games. He's also one of the best Yankee hitters with runners in scoring position.
Ooh. And the crowd cheers because they have not had a love affair today with Marty Foster.
I believe it's going to get him in the left arm just below the right on the bicep. I think Marty dropped the indicator. That's what fell out of his hand.
Marty also put one of those Father's Day tattoos on his right arm. You could see a lot of the players were trying to fix that. And Johnny Damon has his. The 2-2. So now that starts the runners, 3-2 and 2 outs.
Here's another thing to think about with Wang at first base. American League pitchers are not used to running the bases. And if Johnny Damon stalls one to a gap and Wang has to run hard, that could affect his pitching.
Oswalt, whose grandfather, ironically, his first name Houston, deals for the Astros, and that one's chopped up the middle. And no one is out. Tejada could not hold the ball, so bases are loaded.
Angel Hernandez was ready to call him out. And remember what I said about not being used to running? He didn't slide. He went in standing up, and here's the Loretta to Tejada. Looked like everything was all right to that point, but it hit him in the heel of the glove. And Angel Hernandez had that right arm ready to throw him out. But instead, all hands will be safe.
I'll tell you what, Kenny, it looked as even if he caught that ball, he would have been safe. Oswalt does not like what he sees, but it looks like Wang got to the bag before the ball would have. And they're going to give Johnny Damon a single. So he now has 2 hits.
You know, maybe it's a good thing Wang didn't slide. I mean, how often has he been sliding in his career?
He has probably never slid in his career.
Exactly.
He has Cano's at third, Wang's at second, and Johnny Damon, who has also slid, he's at first. Here's Derek Jeter, a chance to really break this open. And Oswalt works from the full windup. Pitches inside. Oswalt still has some giddy up on the fastball, 95 miles an hour.
These are situations as a hitter you really find out how they want to get you out. They're trying to go for your weaknesses. First pitch is a fastball inside. And coming back in there again.
Two outs and runners in scoring position. Jeter, a .333 hitter. Jeter really has both sides covered. Because if you deal him outside, he's going to take the ball the other way. If you deal him inside, he keeps his hands inside the ball and inside outs it to right field. So it's a tough guy to pitch to.
If you hang anything inside and he's really looking in there, man, he can turn on. Those seats are pretty close in the left field.
Well, he's missing inside. And you can see Oswalt not really enamored with that call.
He wants to get it in there on Jeter. He knows if he misses out over the plate, that could spell problems. So Ausmus's target is in, and he doesn't get the call.
We're in the 6th inning. Bases loaded, 2 outs, a 2-1 count on Jeter. Oswalt winds, kicks, deals. Strike on the outside corner, 2-2.
He goes outside because now after 3 successive pitches inside, he knows Jeter's looking in there. So that opens up the outside corner. They're moving the ball around, not staying in one area. And he threw a nice pitch, knee high on the outside corner. So now as a hitter, you're kind of in between. Where is he going to throw it? In or out?
In.
And it's too far in.
So now you start the merry-go-round. 3-2 count with 2 outs.
Now there are some pitchers in this situation, they would just throw for the middle of the plate as hard as they can and hope for the best. But I know that Oswalt feels if he does that and Jeter gets to it, the game's going to be over. So he's going to have to make a good pitch here. Let's see which corner they want to go to.
Ground ball through the right side for a base hit. Cano scores. Chien-Ming running awkwardly. Looks like he pulled a muscle. He will score. And it's a 2-run single for Jeter. Yankees lead 5-0. And it does not look good for Chien-Ming Wang. And quickly out of the dugout, Stevie Donahue, and followed closely by Joe Girardi.
It looks like he's pointing to his ankle or to his foot. And this is what I'm talking about. American League pitchers are not used to running the bases. Wang running as hard as he can to try and score from second on a base hit.
You mentioned it, Kenny, before he even got on base. That's the danger when he's on base. And that's exactly what played out. Roy Oswalt's day is over, and it looks like Chien-Ming Wang's day might be over as well. And the Yankees just have to hope that this is not a long-term injury. He can hardly get down the steps.
Oh, man.
Let's take a look. Right about there. He is really laboring to get home. We're going to take a brief timeout. We'll try to find out what's going on with Wang. Yankees lead 5-0. New pitcher for the Astros. Come on back. Well, back here at Minute Maid Park, the Yankees are leading 5-0, but they don't feel good about things right now. Let's take a look at what happened with Chien-Ming Wang.
The two-out single by Derek Jeter with the runners on the move. Watch about halfway home. That's where Wang's going to break down. He does score a run, but it could be a costly one for the Yankees. And as he limps the rest of the way, but he scores the Yankees' 5th run. Now right there, as you can see, he begins to labor and has to leave the ball game.
There's Wesley Wright, and Matsui lines the first pitch up the middle. That'll score another run. Damon plates, and the Yankees now lead 6-0. An RBI single for Matsui, his 2nd hit of the afternoon.
Well, we've been impressed by Wright, but he hung a breaking ball right there to Matsui in the middle of the plate. And Hideki, well, we know he knows what to do with that. Singles through the middle, then the Yankees pick up another run. That run is charged at Oswalt. Hanging breaking ball. Woo, smoke through the middle.
See Stevie Donahue talking things over with Robbie Thompson and Joe Girardi. Yankees just starting to get their starting pitching rounding into shape. And that did not look good again. You have no idea long term. Speaking of long, a deep drive to left field. Lee back on the track, looking up. See ya! A 3-run home run for Alex Rodriguez. And the Yankees lead 9-0.
This ball is officially smoked. A-Rod's 12th of the year. And number 530 of his career. Follow through on a bell-tie fastball. And a no-doubter. Well, that was a swing off of Wheaties box right there.
2 pitches, 2 hits, 4 ribbies, and finally Giambi takes one for a strike. And he keeps moving up on the list. He's 4 now away from Jimmy Fox for 14th on the all-time list, and 6 away from Mickey Mantle. Count 0-2. Giambi, the 9th batter to come to the plate, as the Yankees have broken this open with 6 runs. Count 1-2.
That one had the sound when it left the bat. That echoed all throughout this building.
Count 2-2.
Let's listen to it.
So a rough outing for Wesley Wright.
Wright's 3rd game in a row. He gets Giambi just above the elbow. Cecil Cooper has seen it all fall apart here in the 6th inning.
And with that home run, Alex Rodriguez passed Charlie King Kong Keller on the Yankees all-time home run list with 185. So he's moving up on a lot of lists. He's trying to see exactly where it landed. It's hard to tell here because you got to get it in that walkway. If it's over the wall, if it's under the yellow line, it's a little difficult to decipher out there. was out there somewhere.
And all this is tempered with the injury to
absolutely
Chien-Ming Wang, though. We talked about how everything has functioned well for the Yankees in this series.
That one's driven deep to left field. See ya! A long home run for Jorge Posada, and the Yankees lead 11-0.
Unmistakable sound. A pitch right down the middle. They're trying to knock that train off the tracks. That's what they're trying to do. Now he's not going to close his eyes, folks. Oh, that great camera work there. Fantastic. The launching of a Posada satellite.
Well, the pitching coach, Dewey Robinson, went out to try to settle down right, and it's been all wrong for right. Here's Robinson Cano. There's a strike.
Well, the crowd is buzzing now.
Drayton McClain, the owner of the Astros, not too thrilled. Ground ball is short. Tejada sets, fields, got him, and the inning finally over. But the Yankees score 8 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits and 2 home runs, one by Alex Rodriguez. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Call to the bullpen, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well. And this was a move the Yankees did not think they were going to have to make. Chien-Ming Wang was coasting, but then rounding third, trying to score from second base on a single by Jeter. He came up lame, has to leave the game. The Yankees then go to Ross Ohlendorf to pitch the 6th, although Chien-Ming Wang could pick up a somewhat Pyrrhic victory here. He'll go to 8-2, but the Yankees have to cross their fingers and hope that he's not out for a while. Wilson Betemit will take over at first base as the Yankees double switch. Betemit will bat in the number 9 spot.
Ohlendorf worked an inning in last night's game, gave up a run on 2 hits.
And Ohlendorf is going to bat in the number 5 hole, vacated by Giambi. And Erstad walks on 4 pitches. So the Yankees are up 11-0. And that's not the way you want to start an inning with a walk. If he hits it 500 miles, it's 11-1.
Now, Wang did not walk anybody in his 5 innings. You're right, Michael. He was coasting. Pitch count was fairly economical. 71 total. And the Astros are just pounding the ball in the dirt. Only 1 fly ball out. I'll make that 2 against Wang in the game.
And the pitch to Tejada is a strike. That one is ripped foul. I'm a little surprised, Kenny, why they wouldn't use Dan Geis in this spot. I mean, this is a multiple inning spot. You're up 11-0. You've already used Ohlendorf
last night.
So this would be a great spot for Geis.
Yeah, Geis hasn't made an appearance in this series. He's pitched pretty well when he's been in there.
Unless they want to use Ohlendorf for one, and maybe they'll use Geis for the final 3. We'll see how it plays out. Could not hold up on the breaking ball, and Tejada down on strikes.
So no contact thus far for Ohlendorf in the game, a walk and a strikeout, and he got Tejada to chase a slider that was nowhere near the plate.
Carlos Lee chops one foul, hits our crowd mic. Count 0-1.
Just as long as it doesn't hit our cameraman. That's Chris down there. You all right, Chris? All right, good. Notice how he never left the viewfinder. He's always on the job.
That's right, just nodded but kept his head right in there. Strike, count 1-2.
There you see the importance of being able to get more than one pitch over the plate. He got Tejada to chase a slider, and then he's got Carlos Lee, who's a great fastball hitter, and now he jumps ahead on the count because he's able to get his breaking ball over. That's the first one that he's shown him in this at bat.
Ripped and grabbed there by A-Rod. Alex having quite a game.
Made some sparkling plays down at third. You can laugh about it. This ball is just smoked. And that's because Ohlendorf missed the target somewhat. Here's A-Rod. Quick to his right. Now he has to shift back to his left. And he makes the play. Yep. Don't do it. Looked like he was thinking about snapping that bat. Those things are expensive.
Lum hits one to left center. Johnny Damon coast over. He'll make the play, and a scoreless inning for Ross Ohlendorf, who survives the leadoff walk. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left. We'll take this baby to the 7th, 11-0 Yankees. Well, we get word that Chien-Ming Wang has suffered a right foot injury, and they are examining him right now in the Yankee clubhouse. As soon as we get any further word, we will pass it along. And obviously every post-game show is a must-watch, but Kim Jones will ferret out whatever information she can after the game. So Bob Lorenz and Kimberly Jones will keep you up to date on what happened with Chien-Ming Wang. Oscar Villarreal takes over, and Cabrera fouls it off. Count 1-1.
We also had a switch in the outfield. Reggie Abercrombie, a former Florida Marlin who played for Joe Girardi a few years back, is now in left field.
So Carlos Lee is out of the game.
And with Lee making the last out, you would expect that Villarreal is going to bat in his spot.
So it was Abercrombie and switch then. Fly ball to left field. Abercrombie. One away. In case you're just joining us, here's the injury we're talking about with Chien-Ming Wang. They say it's a right foot injury, Kenny.
Yeah, Derek Jeter with a base hit, bases loaded. The runners are on the move on a 3-2 pitch and 2 outs. And Wang about halfway home. You can see that something's wrong in his demeanor. And he's got a right foot injury, according to the Yankees. Had to be helped off the field. And that was during the outburst in which the Yankees scored 8 runs. Tied their biggest inning of the season.
Bedham each first at bat. And the count 1-1. Count 2-1. Top of the 7th inning, Yankees looking for the sweep and looking to end what would be a very good road trip for them. They'd be 5-1 in the 6 games, taking 2 out of 3 from Oakland and sweeping the Astros here at Minute Maid Park. The 2-1. 2-2. And it would also establish another high water mark for them as they would go 4 games over 500. So they have an 11-0 lead they have to protect over the final 3 innings. Popped up. Tejada almost lost that ball, overran it. It came back, and so did he. 2 away.
Here's Tejada going over towards the line. Then he's going to make a left turn and retrace his steps and make the play. Stayed with it.
Here's Johnny Damon, 2 more hits again. Another multiple hit game, and the Yankees seem to win when he gets on base, and gets on base several times during a game. Count 1-1.
Well, Johnny came in hitting .439 in June, .443 in his last 23 games. And the Yankees are 17-4 when Johnny Damon has a multi-hit game.
Another broken bat for Damon and another base hit. It is amazing. I believe that's 5 broken bats in the last 2 games, but he's also picked up in that time 6 base hits.
6 hits. Well, like I said, you can always get a new bat. Off the end of the bat, looked like an off-speed pitch from Villarreal, and Johnny just got just enough wood on it to get it over the infield in front of the outfield.
11th 3-hit game of the season. Alberto Gonzalez pinch hits for Derek Jeter, and he grounds it to Blum. They go to second, the short way to get the force, and that will do it here in the 7th. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 3 broken bats for Damon, 3 base hits. On the post-game show. So new pitcher for the Yankees, it's Edouard Ramirez, and he will pitch the bottom of the 7th inning.
Ramirez has also made appearances in this series. He pitched last night, 1 inning, gave up a hit, struck out 2, and didn't walk anybody. So this will be the second consecutive game he's appearing in, and he's been very solid for the Yankees out of the bullpen this year. 20 strikeouts in 19 innings. His changeup has been one of the best in the league, and his fastball, low 90s. Well, after his good changeup, always seems to be about 94, 95 miles an hour to the hitters. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. I'm sure the dads that are Yankee fans are enjoying this one as the Yankees lead 11-0. The Yankee bullpen in this series has been very, very solid. 7 total innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts for Yankee relievers against the Astros.
And as we mentioned, if the Yankees hold on, 4 games over 500, and they go home feeling pretty good about themselves, have a day off tomorrow, then 3 games against the Padres and 3 games against the Reds at Yankee Stadium before moving on to Pittsburgh to continue interleague play on the road. But first, they have to get 9 more outs here to seal this one. It's 11-0 Yankees. Mark Loretta leads off against Edouard Ramirez. And there's a strike. Kenny told you this last night. The man who taught Edouard Ramirez the changeup, Pedro Borbon, used to pitch for the Reds. Ran into him in the hotel yesterday. And he said they should use Edouard more. I said, well, how often could he pitch? He said he could pitch every day, just 1 inning a day, but he could pitch every day, doesn't need a day off.
You know, Pedro's thinking along the lines when he was pitching for the Reds, because he was capable of pitching every single day. And Sparky Anderson would go to him quite a bit.
Soft ground ball up the middle. Gonzalez. And there's one away. So that'll bring up Michael Bourne. Bourne is 1 for 2. Another shattered bat, a worm burner to Cano. 2 away.
I'll tell you what, in these dome stadiums, when you shatter a bat, it just makes the sound as if just windows are breaking. I remember as a kid, I broke a neighbor's window with a ball, and I didn't really want to own up to it, but my dad found out about it, and you know, he took something out of my allowance. Then he also said, gee, I didn't know you could hit a ball that far. So it was kind of good news, bad news situation.
Here's Brett Ausmus. And there's a strike. Like a good catcher, he wants to give his pitcher some time because the first 2 batters retired very quickly. Well, they keep the grounds crew underground here at Minute Maid Park. And that keeps them closer to their work, I guess.
You know what? I don't see a tarp here. Why?
It's over your head.
Yeah, that's the one of the most expensive tarps going.
Absolutely. And it's not plastic. Certainly an improvement over the Astrodome, which a lot of people say kind of drab and dark. This is a spiffy little ballpark. Another sellout today, 43,165, 7th sellout of the year. All 3 of these games sold out.
I'll tell you what, the crowd was buzzing during the 6th inning when the Yankees are scoring 8 runs, but they've really quieted down since.
And Ramirez walks Brad Ausmus. And that'll bring up Reggie Abercrombie.
Abercrombie had been a center fielder for Joe Girardi with the Marlins, but his hitting wasn't quite up to par. Had to go back to the minor leagues. They sent him over for the Astros here, but he was called up recently from the minors.
Bobby Abreu all smiles with a day off. Abercrombie swings and misses. Now they do have that great scouting report on him because, as Kenny mentioned, Girardi knows him very well.
He hit 9 home runs in the minors with 14 stolen bases, 11 doubles, and drove in 25 runs in 56 games. He's got some speed, got some power. His swing is a little lengthy.
You know, interesting point. We talked to Andy Pettit on the batting practice show. I said, I'm sure a lot of your teammates have really picked your brain about how to pitch these Astros. He said, not really. He said, because everybody is going to do what they do. Mike Mussina is going to pitch his sort of game. Job is going to pitch his sort of game. And Chien-Ming Wang is going to throw his sinkers and his sliders. He said, they don't have the same pitches as me. He said, so my scouting report for them really doesn't help. And I think it got him. So runners on first and second, 2 outs.
Posada trying to settle down Ramirez after this pitch. Well, I don't even know if it really hit him. It hit his uniform. Watch the 6. Oh. Right around navel area. That was a navel attack.
Pays to have that loose Blasi shirt. Hit his button. Here is Pence. That off-speed pitch for a strike. Pence in this series 2 for 11. And he is 7 for his last 36. Hitting .280. 11-0 Yankees, the 0 on. Count 1-1.
I'm sure the Astros will be glad to see the Yankees get out of town. They head out on the road Tuesday night. The Astros will be in Baltimore. And then they go to Tampa Bay from there.
Well, they have not been very impressive. If they lose this, they'll have lost 14 of 17. Now, they're 3-13 in their last 16 games, Kenny, and during that 16-game stretch, they went from a game and a half behind the Cubs to 11 games behind the Cubs. So they had a great May, and they've just had a dreadful June. The 1-2. And reading the quotes from the players, it almost sounds like they're entering give-up-ville. You know, we got to try our best, and it's a long season. That sort of rote kind of comments that you have when you're struggling.
Cubs won again today, by the way.
Well, now it'll be 12. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him on the change. Another scoreless inning for Edouard Ramirez. No runs, no hits, no errors. And 2 men left. Let's take it to the 8th. 11-0 Yanks. With the 2 of us here in the booth for the Chevrolet Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772. And for more information, visit ChevyOffers.com. You could vote right up until the end of the game. Vote now. Make your voice heard. Today's candidates are number 1, Chien-Ming Wang, number 2, Alex Rodriguez, number 3, Jorge Posada, and number 4, Robinson Cano. Standard text messaging rates apply. And Matsui takes a strike.
Hideki has raised his batting average 3 points today with the 2-for-4 effort.
And he is listed on the All-Star ballot as a DH. Now, the leading vote getter in the American League is David Ortiz. He's not going to be in the All-Star game because of the wrist problem. And number 2 is Hideki Matsui. So he's the second vote getter as a DH as he flies out to Abercrombie. Now let's check out what happened at Shea Stadium this afternoon in Game 1 with Bob Lorenz. Thank you, Bob. We're hoping for the best for our friend Willie Randolph, who was here for such a long time, now the Mets manager, and everything you read, his job kind of hanging in the balance, so a tough loss for him. There's still another game to be played at Shea today.
So a brief shot of Chad Mulder on deck. It appears he'll be hitting for Edouard Ramirez.
Count 2-1. Rodriguez is 1 for 3, a long 3-run home run in the 6th. Also walked and scored and made just a sparkling play that changed the entire game. Could have been extra bases. The Astros would have been on the board. This was when it was 3-0 Yankees. And also made a quick move and grabbed the line drive to his left. So he's had an all-around good day. Ground ball in the hole and through for a base hit. Second base hit for Alex Rodriguez.
Yankees have outdone their hit total from last night. They had 12 in last night's game. They didn't take batting practice yesterday. Today's batting practice session before the game was optional. And not all the Yankees were out here. Several of them were, and they've pounded 14 hits out tonight or today.
And Alex is now 17 for his last 35. Here is Chad Moeller pinch hitting for Ramirez. That one is driven to left field. Abercrombie leaps. He can't make the play. It's off the base of the wall. Alex Rodriguez will go to third, and Chad Moeller has himself a pinch hit double.
15 hits for the Yankees in today's game as Moeller gets into the act. It's his 5th double of the year. And this was a rocket off the base of the wall in left field. Abercrombie will have a leap, but boy, that's yet another refreshing sound for a Yankee hitter.
Pitch is low to Posada. This will probably be Posada's last moment in the game. What they'll do is they'll bring in another pitcher, and then Moeller will stay in the catch, and then the pitcher will hit the number 6 spot in the order.
Well, one thing the outburst by the Yankees has done, the scoring outburst, a lot of the Astro fans have left. That was LaTroy Hawkins warming up at the Yankee pen.
Breaking ball strike by Villarreal.
Villarreal used to be with the Atlanta Braves, also with Arizona for a while. Working mainly out of the bullpen. Had a few starts.
And a count 3-1 to Posada. On deck is Cano. And that's a walk.
They just can't stop the bleeding. Yep, Cecil Cooper has seen better days as far as what's going on the baseball field.
So here's Cano with the bases loaded and 1 out. Cano has 2 hits and 2 ribbies and a run scored today. It's 11-0 Yankees, looking for more here in the top of the 8th. Pitch is low, 1-0. Cano came into this game 3 for his last 27, so 2 for 4 today. He's going to take it. He had the pinch hit single yesterday, so maybe this is the beginning of a turnaround. His average is at 225. And the count 2-0.
You get the feeling that Villarreal is trying to avoid contact here.
He's also avoiding the plate. The count 3-0. Cecil Cooper has been preaching since spring training, throw strikes, throw strikes.
Yep.
Then he was saying they threw too many strikes, bad strikes, because they're giving up too many home runs. 3-0. And he walks in a run. It's 12-0 Yanks.
And there's no defense for base on balls. And Astro pitching has dealt out at least 6 in today's game. Yeah, Oswalt walked 4. Wright came in, didn't walk anybody. He hit a batter, but he threw some poor strikes that were hit hard. And now Villarreal has had a combination of both.
And Cabrera, let's see if he banged into a double play. No, he did not. Another run scores, and it's lucky 13 for the Yankees as Moeller crosses the plate. So Cabrera, with his speed, picks up an RBI.
Avoids a double play. Loretta to Tejada, and back on to Erstad, but you can see Melky with his speed avoiding the double play. And the Yankees pick up yet another run.
So here's Betamit. Runners on the corners, and there's a strike. So Cabrera's 0 for 5. He was 3 for 20 on the road trip, but he does pick up his 31st ribby. Betamit popped the short his first time up. And count 1-1. Foul back to the screen. Foul back.
For Astro fans, if they had a choice between root canal or this ball game, they might have taken root canal work.
You know, I've had root canal, Kenny. It's not that bad.
Not as bad as this?
No way. Not even close. And the pitch. That one is scalded into center field. Bourne makes the catch, and that'll do it here in the 8th. 2 runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 13-0 Yankees. In Mercury, followed by the pregame show. Then David Cohen, John Flaherty, and I are in the booth for the play-by-play. Padres and the Yankees Wednesday night, starting at 6 only on Yes. There's an Astro fan that has seen enough, but at least Daddy's a Yankee fan, so he's still awake. Well, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and LaTroy Hawkins will come on. A couple of changes for the Yankees. We'll give you those as we move along. Darren Erstad leads off against Hawkins. And there's a strike.
You know, with the bullpen performing so well in this series, you know, the bullpen becomes like a team within a team, and they don't, you know, if somebody pitches well, you want to do the very same thing. Bullpen's only given up, what, 1 run in this series?
Yeah, the one by Ohlendorf.
Oh, Ohlendorf. Yeah, that was it.
Posada takes over at first, so he's over at first from behind the plate, and Chad Moeller takes over behind the plate. And Betemeet moves from first to third, so Alex Rodriguez has the rest of the day off. The Yankee bullpen in this series, 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. And the count 3-1. Hawkins last pitched on June 11th in Oakland. Has not had that much work of late, served that 3-game suspension. And he walks Erstad. So Erstad's on base for the 3rd time today. 2 walks, a single. He also hit into a double play. Andy Pettitte will start the first game against the Padres, and Mike Messina started and won last night for his 10th win of the year. That one is scalded to left field. Backing up Matsui, who'll make the play on the warning track. 1 away.
Been kind of a tough day for Tejada. He's had 1 hit. He hit that ball on the line, and he was the one that was robbed by Alex Rodriguez in the 3rd inning. We've seen some good defensive plays by the Yankees in this series. Maybe that was the best one of them all.
Here's Humberto Quintero in Carlos Lee's spot. He is pinch hitting for Lee. Swung on and missed. This is actually Villarreal's spot with a double switch. And the 1-1.
Quintero is a backup catcher. And he was the catcher that got run over, I think it was by Carl Crawford in spring training. He set off sort of a brouhaha with the Astros and the Rays. And then about a week later, the Rays, I can't remember, it was Elliot Johnson who ran over the Yankee prospect, the catcher, at home plate, and that set off another brouhaha. And the Rays manager, Joe Madden, says we're going to play hard all year long. That's the way he wants the team to play.
And they have.
Although the Rays didn't play hard enough today. They lost.
And the 1-2. Breaking ball outside. 2-2.
The Marlins avoided a sweep. They came up with a 9-3 win over Tampa Bay.
The 2-2. Missed outside. 3-2 from Hawkins. Erstad's on first with 1 out. On deck is Jeff Blum. Yankees lead 13-0. Pounded out 15 hits. The Astros 0-6-0. And the payoff. Swung on and missed. On the slider, 2 away.
We got the 3-2, and this pitch was, let's see how close it is. Actually, it wasn't. It was a good slider, though. It looked like a fastball until about right here, and then it's not. Strike 3.
Here's Jeff Blum. He is 0 for 3. And there's a strike.
Look out.
Bat goes one way, ball goes the other, and the count 0-2.
Young man wants to give it back. Wait a minute. He might not have to. Now Blum's going to go for another bat. But I like the young man's thinking there. He said, it's really not mine, and if he wants it back, I'll give it back to him. But it's his now. Yeah. So for at least one person today here at the state, it's bat day. Out of 43,165.
And there's a fan for life. People like free stuff. Here's the 0-2. Popped up. Left side and out of play.
Here comes a free ball.
That's right.
It's my bat. It's my bat.
She's eyeing that bat. There's going to be an argument very, very shortly. Oh, yeah. She's just thinking how she's taking it. Served into left field. Matsui's right there. And that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. 8 in the books here at Minute Maid Park. It is 13-0 Yankees. Been a long day, but the Yankees will take it as they pound out 15 hits, and they're trying to go 4 games over 500. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by, and we'll tell you in just a moment, because Johnny Damon is leading off and Tim Burdock, the new pitcher, deals inside 1-0. It'll be Damon, Gonzalez, and Matsui against the Astros left-hander. He came in yesterday, couldn't throw strikes.
He faced, I think he threw 1.
8 pitches. No, 9 pitches, 8 balls. How about Johnny Damon? Oof. A 4-hit day. And he didn't break his bat that time.
He went 0 for 2 and now has 4 consecutive singles. Johnny, be good. Middle of the plate. Line drive. He had 7 hits in 2 games. A pinch hit in the first game made it out. So he went 0 for 1 in the first game. That's his 3rd 4-hit game of the season.
And he is 9 for 22 on the road trip. Not too bad. Chop towards second. Loretta will tag Damon, and they get the double play.
Well, Loretta has the ball. Johnny Damon kind of hold his ground. He's going to try and make sure that Gonzalez can beat the throw. He cannot. So the double play is completed. High chopper. Gonzalez hustling down the line, but the double play will be completed.
Matsui takes a strike.
I'll tell you what, the situation here for the Yankees, you know, you've got all these runs, all these hits. It's quite obvious that you're, you know, almost 100% sure you're going to win the game, but you don't want to give away at bats when you come up to the plate. You want to get your hits. You know, all adds up at the end of the season.
Matsui has 2 tonight. He is 2 for 5.
I mean, he's in line to win a batting title. I mean, he's been in the top 10 just about all season long. So you don't want to take an at bat off.
They say that's what the great ones do. If Pete Rose had 4 hits, he wanted to get 5 and was disappointed if he didn't. 2-2. Fouled away. Most of the crowd has emptied out into the streets of Houston. They have seen enough at 13-0. 7 sell out of the season. 3 of them coming against the Yankees. They'll have at least 10 this season because the Red Sox come into town for 3 games, and all of those 3 sold out as well. And for those that question how long interleague play is going to be around, it'll be around a long time because attendance always shoots up at the time of interleague play, where high draw teams come into cities and boost attendance.
Yep, kids are out of school. It usually starts up around towards the end of May or June. You're right, Michael.
Driven down the left field line, but slices foul. I mean, maybe the system could be tweaked a little bit, but in terms of ever going away, I don't think it's going to happen. And you know what? I frankly don't think that it should, because it has been very successful for the game.
Yeah, particularly for the natural rivalry games.
Yep.
You know, the Yankees and the Mets, of course, the 2 Chicago teams, the Dodgers and the Angels.
And, you know, in New York, it might not seem like a big deal to get sellouts because you always do. But for Houston and when the Yankees go into Pittsburgh, that's a big deal. 3 sellouts.
And of course, one of the benefits, or what they want to be beneficial, is to create those natural rivalries that you know, for years, I mean, the Yankees and the Mets only met maybe in the Mayor's Trophy game, and that was it.
And then that stopped.
Yeah.
And then they stopped essentially playing in spring training as well. So the Yankees have a 4-game series with the Mets. Now it's been decided it's a day-night doubleheader on that Friday. The day game at Yankee Stadium, the night game at Shea.
Of course, here in Texas, you got the Astros and you got the Rangers playing as natural rivals.
Happy fan with a souvenir and a tie. And Matsui works a walk. How about not giving away an at bat?
Fouled off numerous pitches.
Hey fans, keep it here on Yes following the last out for the Nissan postgame, as Bob Lorenz gives you detailed analysis of this series finale with the Astros, and Kim Jones will give you the latest information on Chien-Ming Wang's right foot and other key interviews with key players. It's the Nissan postgame. It's right here on Yes, so stick around for that.
Jose Molina is going to pitch hit for LaTroy Hawkins. Hawkins was batting an A-Rod spot.
They are not holding Matsui on at first. Erstad plays behind him. And there's a strike from Burdak. The 2-1. Check swing and a breaking ball, 3-1. You know, the Astro bullpen has certainly not been a weakness this season, but they have not distinguished themselves here in this series. They do not throw consistent strikes, and they need some power arms out there. Grounded to third. Ausmus boots it. And Molina reaches on the E5. So Brad Ausmus, who went from behind the plate to third, boots that one. Keep the inning alive.
And that's going to be the first error of the game. Blum, who had been at third, is now playing short. Miguel Tejada's out of the game. And Ausmus, you know, he's played the infield before, but not very often. A little bit out of his element on an in-between hop.
And Chad Moeller takes a strike. Moeller doubled. His last time up as a pinch hitter, came around to score. He's had a nice run with the Yankees. 267. He's done a good job behind the plate when Posada was hurt, and the Yankees are carrying 3 catchers for the time being. There's a strike.
I think that's going to continue until they are completely satisfied that Posada's arm is just about 100%.
That one driven to left field. Abercrombie will make the catch, and that'll do it. No runs, a hit, 1 error, and 2 men left on base. Last legs coming up for the Astros. 13-0 Yanks. Well, Minute Maid Park is emptying out as the Yankees are enjoying a 13-0 lead and trying to complete a sweep of the Astros and go 5-1 on this road trip through Oakland and Houston. New pitcher for the Yankees is Dan Geis. He'll try to get the final 3 outs, and he'll face Mark Loretta to start it off. Pitch is high.
Since his call-up, Geis has made a couple of appearances and has been pretty effective. 3 strikeouts, just a walk, 5 hits in 6 1/3 innings, working to a pretty good earned run average here at the major league level. Got that little hesitation before he delivers a pitch. It might be somewhat of a situation for hitters where they're thrown off a bit. Deception.
Popped up right field. Melky Cabrera will make the play. 1 away. Boy, what's left of the crowd really jumping on the Astros. They do not like the way this team played in these 3 games.
Well, I guess a little bit of that started before the Yankees even came to town. If they lose today, what would it be, 14 out of 17?
And 5 straight.
Yeah.
Astros will be 88 and 85 in interleague play, and the Yankees have the best record all time in interleague play, 116 and 81. And there's a strike to Michael Bourne.
Michael, you ever go down to Florida, maybe down or to a zoo, and you see in the sanctuary, bird sanctuary, you see the flamingos?
Yeah.
Watch Geis when he delivers, standing on one leg. You know, like, you ever see the flamingos standing on one leg, then balance themselves?
I'll have to take a look.
Yeah, his delivery's a little different. I mean, they'll let you stand on your head if you can get people out. There it is.
Popped up shallow center, and that's going to dunk in for a base hit. So Bourne picks up his 2nd hit of the afternoon.
Bourne's had himself a pretty good month of June. He's around the 400 mark this month. Here's that delivery once again. The balance. And Bourne will bloop it into center for the hit in front of Johnny Damon.
And the pitch to Ausmus is a strike. Brad is 0 for 2 with a walk today. And the count 2-1.
This series has been Well, the first game was kind of close. But since the first game, it's been all Yankees.
Popped up. Melky Cabrera in shallow right. And the Astros are down to their final out of the series.
Yankees winning the first game against Cecil Cooper's team 2-1 last night. They broke it open 1-8-4, and today it's been a walkover.
They've outscored the Astros 23-5. And Drake McClain, the owner, is wondering what's going on. Here's Reggie Abercrombie. Breaking ball strike. They have a new general manager. They have a new manager. But not getting it done lately. Count 0-2.
There is Ed Wade, the general manager, former general manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. You can see look on his face.
He's going to need that coffee this season. The 0-2 in the dirt. 1-2. Assistant GM Enos Cabell. They might have to do something to shake this up. The 1-2 swung on and missed, and the Yankees win 13-0 in the ninth inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. Johnny Damon with 4 of those 16 hits, and he celebrates with his Yankee teammates as they head home after 3 days in Houston with a sweep. Alex Rodriguez with a home run, and Jorge Posada with a home run, and A-Rod also chipped in a couple of really sparkling plays at third base. So all in all, a really good weekend and a good road trip for the Yankees. The only blemish on the road trip, that one loss in Oakland with Darryl Rasner on the mound. But Mike Messina's pitched well, Andy Pettitte pitched well. The Yankee bullpen was great. 10 innings, 4 hits, a run, 3 walks, and 10 strikeouts. And Pettitte gets to visit home and then leave with 3 victories. He'll start on Tuesday against the Padres. Awards post-game coming up. Yankees win 13-0.